Okay, so I'm just gonna to run over some stuff. As I said, we went through testing on dry lanes. We tested on our 24-hour oil, which was 2 leagues, open bowling, glow in the dark, without any kind of reapplication, no dragging to it, so we could get really bad transition. Then we went to actual transition during our ball reviews. As I said, we try to apply new oil for every bowler, so that way we can show it on the fresh. So in between, it gave us an opportunity to test it a lot. We're going to go through the application do's and don'ts, the removal, and our feeling on it. Awesome. Okay. And when I'm going to re-upload this to YouTube later, so I'll cut that part out with all the echoes there. So if you guys need to go back and watch stuff, we'll be good. But we'll get into the stuff I was talking about while it was echoing, while we're doing stuff. Patasi. Hey Tim, how's it going? Thank you guys all for letting me know. I couldn't see the comments while you guys were talking, unfortunately, because it was off camera. That is the problems when you do things on your own. As I said, computers hate me. Okay. Hey Paul! Good to see you, man. Alright. So the first time we tested it, as I said, I tested it on completely dry lanes. I had them bring the lane machine out. We have an Authority 22 in our center, and completely run a full strip on the lanes. Then I tried throwing the ball, which did not work well. For any of you who have tried throwing a reactive resin ball on completely dry lanes, that does not work well. Hey Devin, nice to see you. So the video I got from that wasn't really good. To be honest with you, the ball doesn't really stay on the lane. I tried applying some of that wow factor, and while there was probably about a foot difference in how long it stayed on the lane, it didn't really give a good representation of it. Now, as we said, the product is designed to deal with transition, to help smooth it out, to help you be able to not be affected by it as much. So when there is no oil, there is no transition, because it's bone dry. So after trying that a few times, we realized that this product is not an oil. It's not an additive you're putting on top of the ball, like a slip agent or something like that. Because we wanted to understand what the product did itself. Because it's patent pending, and Ron won't tell us. So we moved on to that, to testing what we called our 24. Now we made sure that the lanes that we were on had not been dressed at all, had not been dragged, but it also had not had anything weird happen on it. Nobody sliding on them, nobody walking on them. You know, the regular, unfortunately, stuff that can happen during open bowling. And I actually have a video to show you guys. It's really cool. So what we did is we took a 4-shot sequence of the that wow factor already applied, and started throwing it on the lanes to show you not only what it does to transition, but actually to show it wear off. Because one of the interesting things about that wow factor is it lasts on the ball 2 to 3 shots at most. It wears off, so that way it doesn't impede the long-term performance of your ball. And, I mean, transition changes. As the ball is creating friction against the lane, is interacting with oils and stuff, things are going to happen. So the reapplication of that wow stuff every 2 to 3 frames during that time really makes a difference. And, well, at least that's what we were told. And we wanted to see exactly how much of a difference it made. So I'm going to throw on a video here for you guys so you can see exactly what happens. The first shot that we throw, as I bring this up here. So the first shot you're going to see thrown here is me. And this is with a full application of that wow factor. And you can see that it went right to the pocket. It was a great shot, in my opinion. Now these are uncut because we want to make sure you guys can trust, what you're seeing. There's all sorts of photo trickery and video trickery that you can play out there. So now we are going to go to a second shot. Now we have not reapplied. We have not cleaned with that purple stuff. And you're going to see a bit of a difference here once it comes up. So here I am. You can see my glasses just off screen there. I'm throwing the fire quantum, and you can see that one. It hooked about 2 more boards than the first shot. The first shot was flush pocket. This one was about 2 boards higher. You can see it kind of crash on that head pin a little bit, so you can see it's starting to wear off a little bit. Now, as I said, this is on open bowling. You can see the people who are bowling next to us during open bowling. So we got this set up. It was really good just before we did our review for the new Quantums. It allowed us to see it, the open play, and then redress them for the video. Now here we are again. Now you could see that ball grab much sooner. I could not push it out to past the 4th arrow, which is where the first 2 balls had gone. So you can see it starts gripping much more as that wow factor stops affecting the ball. Now the unfortunate part of being a uncut video is there's some time wait. But what we did is, and I'll show you guys in a second, when we first applied it, we used the that wow factor chamois to apply it, and we applied it to the entire track of the ball because we wanted to see how it worked as applying to the whole thing, because we hadn't really gone into the specifics of where to put it to create different motions yet. We just wanted to test the actual full thing itself. So here I am for the last shot. It's amazing what happens when you add that wow stuff again. Or that wow factor. I'm sorry, Ron. Yeah, you could see on that last shot there, it took an extra couple of seconds there, but we actually we reapplied it at the end there, and you could see the difference in shots for that 4-shot sequence. So you could see it got to the pocket, then it hooked a little more, then it hooked a lot more, then we reapplied over the original with that wow factor, and you could see it suddenly shot through the fronts and got way longer, reduced the hook factor to it. That was the new Fire Pearl Quantum by Brunswick. So it's a brand new cover stock, had 0 games on it. We actually drilled a new one for the show. I have one myself personally, and we had one for the show. Because we wanted to give it the best possible look at it. Yeah, it did go out a lot farther. It pushed out so much farther than what we were expecting. Yeah, it was so much cleaner through the front, I wasn't expecting it to shoot that far out. Now, one of the things we learned very quickly is applying that wow factor on top of that wow factor makes the ball very long. And I'm sure Ron will probably say at some point, you really shouldn't do that. And we'll get to the application and the usage and how to work with it a little bit later. But we would not recommend just applying that wow factor on top of that wow factor. So, once we... yeah, we screwed up, we know. So once we got through that, we were actually really impressed at how the ball motion changed, or at least how the ball read the lane changed. So we knew that Ron was on to something, but that was on extreme transition. That's about the most extreme you're going to see. We wanted to actually test it out and see how it worked with a fresh cover stock on regular league transition. So we shot a video and we brought out the brand new Forest Green Solid Quantum by Brunswick, available next week. And plug. And what we did is we threw a shot with no that wow factor on it. We wanted to see what the ball looked like when we first threw it, and then we would apply that wow factor to it to see exactly how much difference there was. So after shooting the Fire Pearl Quantum, we had some transition on the lane, and we grabbed the brand new Forest Green Solid, and we took it down to the lane, and yes, that's why they say they put a little bit on the pad. And we're going to get to that, because a little bit goes a long way. So let me get to this video here, and I will show you the two-shot sequence with the Forest Green Solid. The first shot is without any of that wow factor on it. The second shot is when it's been applied to it. Alright, so here you can see I'm throwing it. I've hit fourth arrow. Strike. Looks good to me. You can see the happiness on my face there. I know I'm locked in. I'm dialed in with the ball. So then I go back to the rack, grab that wow factor, and the chamois. And this time, we put a small amount on. The first time we applied it, I put a squirt like I do with that purple stuff, 3 lines. And then when we reapplied it, we did the same thing. Obviously, you can tell how much of a difference it made. So now here we are with the second shot. Same play. We actually played it a tiny bit deeper, but it never hooked. Never. I adjusted my own line to see if I could, to see if I could get it in a little bit deeper, which you can see in the video. And it never moved. It took a brand new cover stock, one of the strongest cover core combinations that we've had, and it basically turned it into a plastic ball. Which is why we're going to get to the application do's and don'ts, because Ron taught me a lot about what we were doing wrong. As I said, we screwed up. So the things that we saw, because I think that's the important thing. We saw about a foot to 2 foot extra length out of the ball on regular transition, and up to 5 feet difference on heavy transition to the way the ball read the lanes. Now, what's that mean to you, the bowler? Well, depending on the house you're in, you know that some houses get lots of oil and some don't get much at all. I know in our house, traditionally, I've struggled as we go farther into blocks because we used a very low volume of oil. So they would burn up very quickly, and I'd end up maybe being able to get a game and a half out of a strong ball, and by the time we'd get to a game 3 or game 4, I'd be throwing urethane, swinging the whole lane, which makes it difficult for us high rev players to play. Conversely, you've got somebody like a Wayne, who is a lower speed, low rev player, who would start outside at his regular shot, and he would get forced farther and farther in, almost to shooting like scoops, because the oil would be not only moving backwards in distance, but moving inwards, moving your hold area farther and farther in very quickly. So a product like this actually can allow you to play in the same area a lot longer. From seeing what we just saw in the videos, the uncut videos that I just showed you guys, you can see the difference. Now, we don't know why. Ron won't tell us, as I said. Whatever this does, I took a ball over to our local college and asked them to kind of take a look at it under an electron microscope before application and after. And the weird thing was they couldn't really see a difference like a huge difference in the surface texture. So we've got no idea how this stuff works. But it does. Obviously, the video shows. Yes, Brad, Holy Loft. We're not sure how it works. We'd be damned if it doesn't work a lot. I mean, you could see as it came off, the foreshot as it came off, you could see how much more the ball gripped. You could see on the 2 shot from no application to application, how it completely changed. Oh, I think I froze for a second. How it completely changed how the ball read the lane. You could, I mean, a brand new Quantum that's hugely strong suddenly goes straight. I mean, this product is powerful, which makes the application do's and don'ts extremely important. I cannot stress enough how important the application do's and don'ts are. Because as we learned, if you don't know what you're doing, you can screw it up pretty easily. So before we go any farther, I'm just going to switch over to the feed here. Patent pending. I did not forget to pay my cable bill. It's just computers hate me. So are there any questions about what you guys have seen so far? And is there anything I've left out? Ron, if you want to jump in and say anything, you can tell me if I've missed anything. Womp womp. Yes, you're correct. And as I said, guys, I'm going to be uploading this on to YouTube probably tomorrow or Thursday, just so you can see everything. So if you miss anything as the camera freezes, don't worry, you're not going to miss out. So let's jump right back into it here. Okay, so as you can see, I've brought a ball. It happens to be the Rave On from Radical Bowling Technologies. And I'm actually going to bring it closer here so you guys can see. I have drawn flare rings on it. Oh, maybe you guys can't. There you go. You can see. I've drawn flare rings on it so that we can talk about application do's and don'ts. I don't know why it's lagging down here. So, anyway, we're going to jump in here. I'm going to jump off my seat, and I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so that you can see what's going on here. Alright, so you can see here we have our flare lines that we've drawn on here. I'm going to get rid of this overlight here so you can see them a little better. We've got some flare lines that we've drawn on. We've got a bow tie at the top, flare lines on the back. So, first and foremost, something that is important is make sure your ball is clean. As we've shown, we use that purple stuff. I highly, highly recommend that you use that purple stuff before you apply this. Make sure your ball is clean, oil-free, cover stock doesn't have any junk on it. And I will get in a little bit more into it when we're removing it, because it's just as important. So for... And I hope you guys can still see me out there. I see that it's kind of lagging a little bit. We're going to try to get back to that. So we've got our microfiber pad here. And this is specifically our wow factor pad. Very, very important. Do not mix up your pads. You want one specifically to clean with and one specifically to apply your that wow factor with. So when you do it, as we said before, use a very small amount. when we did it, we did three big lines. That's way too much. Way too much. Just a very small amount. Very small amount. And you just apply it onto the pad there. Now, there are different places that you can actually apply that wow factor to change, as we said, change the motion of your ball in the lane. So the first one we have is on the front half of the ball on the flare track. If you apply it to this area, what you do is you actually turn your ball into a skid flip reaction. So if you need that ball to go down a little bit longer and really snap off the back, apply here on your flare. Conversely, if you want to smooth out your reaction, you want it to be a little bit rounder, but you still need it to get down the lane, because this is what we want. We want it to get through those dry spots, through that transition. You're actually going to apply it to the back half of the ball, the back flare part. Now, when we did our original test, when we first started testing it, we actually did the whole track. And if you do it with a little bit, yes, it will get the ball down farther. It's going to very much reduce how the ball reads the lane. So I wouldn't really completely recommend it. I think skid snap, smooth reaction, knowing front and back, I think that's all you're really going to need that way. Or if you just want some length and want to keep the characteristics of the ball, you want to keep that regular shape, just apply it to the bow tie. This is the point at which all your flare rings meet up on your ball. Some people have it up here, some people have it in different places depending on what kind of roll you've got. If you just want the ball to continue to keep its characteristics but you want more length, you can just apply it right here. So we've got skid flip, length, smooth. Can you put it other places? Yes. Do I recommend it? No. Not at all. As I said, in our testing, we screwed up, so you guys don't have to. Applying it to the entire ring just makes it go forever. It really, it smooths it out. You don't get that skid flip because it never gets to read, so it just made it go a mile. I imagine there are situations that this could be useful. You probably want to practice and find out what they are first. If you need it to go that long, maybe there's something wrong with the lanes. Maybe you need to change balls. But if you're locked in, you want to keep throwing that one ball, knowing what you can do with it is helpful. So, skid flip, length, smooth. Now, I know Ron is on here, so if he has any others to add, he can throw them into the comments here. Or he may even do a video himself on different reactions you can create by where you put that wow factor. Now, removal. This is one that we really screwed up. We had applied some to a ball, and as we said, we applied it, then we reapplied it on top of it without removing it. First and foremost, while using that wow factor, is use that purple stuff. It cleans the ball beforehand, and as it wears off, before you want to reapply to continue getting the same reaction, clean it and then reapply. That way you're getting a fresh surface and a fresh application every time you want to use it. You can see it lasts 2 to 3 frames. I would say probably 2 frames is your maximum before you want to clean it and reapply, in my experience. Ron may say different. You, Creating the Difference guys who are watching, if you have a different take on it, love to hear it. But we found about 2 shots clean, then reapply. That's right. That purple stuff cleans that wow factor off. Period. And this is where we screwed up. So we got to the end of it, testing it out and shooting our final set of videos for it. And we tried to clean it off with another brand's cleaner. That was a mistake. And you know, as somebody who loves science, I probably should have thought about chemical reactions with products that are not designed to work together. That purple stuff is designed to not only clean your ball, but to clean that wow factor off. So trying to clean it off with something else, we're not sure what happened, if it spread it out, if it diluted it, if there was a chemical reaction, but it did not return the cover stock to its original ability. Our Forest Quantum, the Forest Green Solid, once we used another company's cleaner on it, the reaction became very spotty. Sometimes it would be really, really long. Sometimes it would get very jumpy, very stoppy-starty. Excuse me, Scoops always calls it the double clutch, where it looks like it's hooking, then it slides out again, then it hooks again. So using another company's cleaner is not a good idea. And you know, this is where that mad scientist, rocket scientist, you know, Ron came in and helped us, because I contacted him and I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand. We tried to clean it off, and when I found out what we had used to clean it off, I was like, oh, and he was like, oh. Definitely make sure that you use that purple stuff to clean it off. Because you don't want to adversely affect the reaction of your ball on another day. You want to make sure you always have a clean cover stock that is devoid of oil and debris and things like that. You want your best reaction. And that's what that purple stuff is about, so you might as well use them together. I'm not saying you can't use other cleaners. You know, everybody's going to use what they're going to use. Everybody has their favorite. But if you're going to use this product, you need to use this product. Flat out. Interestingly, that wow factor does not penetrate the pores the same way that oil did, so you can't even get it out with a reviver. So make the investment. If you're going to buy that, buy some of this. You should be buying this anyway. I mean, when we tested it, and we're going to be testing other cleaners, we have never found anything that cleaned as good as that. So, I mean, you might as well use the best. If you're that invested in your game, you want to bowl better, and you're using that wow factor so you can score longer, just invest in that purple stuff. I'm just jumping into the comments here. Yeah, I know, Jim. It's not rocket science. Now, for those of you who have said to me, you know, that purple stuff is expensive. You know, oh, it's expensive. Well, you know what? Good things do cost a little bit more. And when you want to talk about the performance of a ball that you're spending, you know, $200, $300, in Canada with the exchange, $400 on a ball, you want to get the best product you can, and you want to get the most out of it. Who wants to buy a bowling ball that dies? Who wants to buy a bowling ball that doesn't work the way you want it to work? Nobody. So you pay, you know what, for the couple of dollars more you spend on it, if you get 60 more games out of a ball. If you think about that, that's a season. It's an extra season that you're not spending another $200 or $300 on a ball. You know? How much would you pay for an extra strike? How much would you pay to not have to shoot an extra spare? How much would you pay to add 20 pins to your average? We know, because it's been tested and it's proven. And as Ron has pointed out here in the comments, there's a combo pack. You can get a really great deal on it all together. It tamed down an original guru. Oh, I'm sure it probably could. We used it on the Force Quantum, and it was pretty ridiculous. Yes, that, you know what, Brian, I would love to get some purple oil to see if that purple stuff can get it out of the cover stock, because I would bet money that it would. But wait, there's more. Okay, so we've talked about removing it. We've talked about application. The last thing is our overall feelings about it. I haven't been shy about talking about this already. That purple stuff, when it came out on the market, changed the way that we looked at cleaners. Because it's not just throwing rubbing alcohol or spit or whatever on your ball. It's not putting Windex or other things on the ball. It's a product designed for bowling balls to get the best performance out of it. And when people started using it, and I mean, we showed you guys when we used it, it proved it could do what it claimed to do. Well, you guys have seen the video. That wow factor, in my estimation, and I know many other people agree with me, it does what it says. It turned incredibly bad house transition into like brand new oiled lanes. It took a ball that you know, it took a ball that I could barely get past the center arrow and turned it into a strike shot with the Fire Quantum. When we applied it to the Force Green Solid, it took a shot that was perfect pocket and blew it through the 3-pin. You know, it definitely creates length. It reduces transition. It allows you to play in one area for longer. And that's what we all want, especially if we can get locked in. If we get locked in and we're throwing strikes, we don't want to have to move. We don't want to have to move 2 left, 3 left, 4 right, whatever. We want to keep striking. And that's what this product is about. It's about allowing you to strike longer and strike better and add pins to your average. So in my estimation, in my opinion, and I mean, you guys know me, I will call it out if it's bad. It's a no-brainer. It is in my non-PBA bag for all of my bowling when I'm allowed to use cleaners. Now, I said not my non-PBA bag because it is not currently cleared for use on the PBA Tour. They don't allow you to clean your ball in between shots. They don't allow you to apply things to your ball in between shots. So it is not in my PBA tournament bag, but every other tournament bag I have, any other tournament I go to, I've already had this. I won't be caught dead without this. If I want to win, this is my ace in the hole. This is my, oh, you guys have to move left, you guys are struggling. I'm going to stay where I am. I'm going to keep striking. Very important, make sure when you're using these products, make sure of your tournament rules. I know there were some issues in the US last year where they posted specific rules in the tournament rules that you were not allowed to have wet towels or clean your balls in between shots or anything like that. So make sure if you're going to a tournament that you check the rules so that you can use these. If there's no rule against it, you would be a fool not to have this in your bag. Like I said, how much would you pay for an extra strike? How much would you pay for an extra 10 or 20 pins on your average? Well, apparently there's a combo pack. You know exactly how much it'll cost. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to give a couple minutes here for question and answer. if you guys have anything you want to ask me, Tim Hortons or Starbucks? Tim Hortons. Come on, Jim. Tim Hortons. And yes, Ron's just posted in the comments. You can go to wowfactorbowling@gmail.com and you can ask the man himself about questions, about application ideas, anything like that. Ron is one of the friendliest. I mean, I keep saying he's a rocket scientist. He's one of the friendliest guys out there. I have never seen a situation where you couldn't just walk up to him and ask him a question or talk to him. So definitely take that time and go talk to him. Hector, as someone who sees the right side of the lane as a righty, I can say using this wow factor allows me to play up the second arrow without the ball coming up high. There you go. So he plays right up the second arrow, which is usually about where the oil pattern stops. I'm going to move this back so you guys can see me. I'm not just some disembodied hands. You know, as somebody who plays up the track area, and you know, he's going to see the most friction of bowling anywhere in a center. So if he can play it up the track and continue to play up the track, why wouldn't you? You know, that's money in his pocket. When he's bowling, that's money in his pocket. Because he can strike longer. You guys can probably hear my dog in the background. He loves me a lot. Yes, Ron put out an interesting thing, that wow factor is not a creating the difference product. It is a product on its own. While Ron created it, it is not part of the CTD product line. So, you know, it is its own brand on its own. And it's even got that cool little wow guy on it. Let me see here. If there's any other questions, guys, go ahead and ask anything you want about this. Ron has absolutely changed the way that we bowl, the way that we look at cover stocks, the way that we clean things. I cannot say enough good things about him. You know, a chance email talking to him almost 2 years ago has completely changed the way that in my shop I work with customers. When I'm cleaning a ball, when I'm resurfacing a ball, when I'm using my reviver, I use that purple stuff. I'm not a staff member. I buy this stuff just like anybody else. This is an investment in my customers as a pro shop. The reviver takes the oil out of the ball. Why would I want to use rubbing alcohol or anything like that that isn't going to remove the oil and grime that's coming off the ball in my reviver? Anytime I put a ball in the reviver, I always use that purple stuff to clean the entire cover so that the customer gets the most performance they can. Now I can also tell them about that wow factor so they can bowl in their area longer and why that purple stuff is good for them. Also, that wow factor chamois is just awesome. The big yellow chamois with the face on the back, you will never mistake this chamois for your other chamois, because it's just the straight backed one. So as I said, you don't want to mix those up, because if you start trying to clean your ball with that wow factor, it's going to be weird. For less than a cup of coffee, you can own both bottles. That's right. Come on, use the right clean. Yeah, I got that. What else do we got here? Great presentation. So, doesn't look like you guys have a lot of questions. If you do, feel free, as I said, Ron has put the email address right in the comments there, and you can contact him at wowfactorbowling@gmail.com to ask him any other questions you have about this. If there's any other products you guys would like to know about, leave a message in the comments as well. As I said, I'll be posting this in on our YouTube in a little while. Creating the Difference is a marketing partner for that wow factor. There you go. And some of these CTD guys say that there's another product coming, so I guess I'm going to have to review it. But I think that closes up things for now. It went a little longer than I wanted to. I was expecting to go about a half an hour. But you know what? Sometimes with these products, you got to talk a little bit more, and you got to let people know. So, I guess, until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside. Alright guys, that about wraps it up for another show. If you like what you saw this episode and want to find out more, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Laneside Reviews, or click below.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, or click on the box. Or if you missed our last video or just want to watch it again, you can click on the other box.
And don't forget you can pick up any of the jerseys you see in our videos by using this coupon code at logoinfusion.com. So until next time guys, we'll see you laneside. This program sponsored by Turbo, Driven to Bowl, for all the Quad 2 inserts and interchangeable thumbs we use in all of our videos. Coaches know where to get the best training aids from. Eileen's Bowling Buddy. Use code LANESIDE and save today. Bowlerama Berry, for all the lanes we bowl on. For birthday parties and corporate events, call now. Still searching for that perfect fit? With no residue and easy removal, Real Bowler's Tape really is the Real Bowler's choice. And Logo Infusion. Look the best, be the best, infuse your game. Logo Infusion.